I know that it is a little weird, but just bear with me if you can. Thank you guys so much for joining for the live today. I know that there is some echoes and some light challenges, but I promise you we're going to get through it. So thank you guys very much for joining. I have missed you all so very much. It has been a good long 4 or 5 weeks since I've seen you last. I hope that you guys have been having a fabulous time crafting, making journals, hanging out, resting, enjoying the start to the summer. So much has happened in the last month or so, right? And I just wanted to kind of catch you guys up to speed and let you know where I'm at and what's going on. And then we're going to start working on the white quilt cover journal today. And it should be where I decorate the front cover, and maybe we can work inside a little bit. We'll make some ephemera, I'm sure. And then that's today's class. On Thursday, I'm going to teach a different class where I start a whole brand new project. Now, Thursday's class is going to be a short, it's going to be a short journal make. So what I mean by that is we're not starting a new kit. There's no new kit out. The thing that we're making on Thursday is a file folder journal. And so you're going to need to gather some basic supplies. But we can go over supplies for each night. I'll talk to you guys about tonight first. And then at the end of today's live, I will talk to you about the supplies needed for Thursday's live, kind of what the game plan is. But when I say short, I mean it's not a series. We're going to do a one and done on Thursday. So we're going to begin it and we're going to finish it on Thursday, unless we want to come back one more time, depending on how things go, just to kind of put finishing touches on or decorate. But anyway, today, the white quilt journal. I'm sure I look a little worse for the wear. White quilt journal. Let me tell supplies first, and then we'll chit chat and we'll get all caught up. But for those of you joining me who actually want to craft, I will be working on the white quilt cover journals. And so mine, I have not worked on anything since the last time I left you guys. So I need to decorate the front cover. So I'm going to be adding some lace. I will be constructing a focal point to put on the front cover of the journal, layering all of that up, basically decorating the front of a quilt cover, so a soft quilt cover journal. And then on the inside, I have some pre-made ephemera that we've made together, and I've made from 365 videos and stuff like that. And so I will be putting some of that ephemera in, and then we can make some more ephemera, some pockets, some tags, some journal cards, stuff like that. So whatever you want to gather for, basic crafting supplies, glue sticks, scissors, etc. I'm sure I'm going to use copy dyed 12 by 12 cardstock to cut up and make pockets. I don't think I'm making a master board, but I will probably be doing some collaging to decorate some things. I'll use the French fashion lady at some point, I'm quite certain, because I use them all the time now. And so yes, basic supplies for today. Today is more finishing up a journal. We will make new ephemera, but finishing up a journal, decorating that cover. Thursday, beginning a new project. So gather your white quilt journal supplies. And for those of you that don't know, the white quilt journal was a quilt, a soft quilt cover journal, and I'll show this to you here in just a second, but a soft quilt cover, and then we sewed a signature into it. For me, I didn't use any printed digital pages. I used only antique original ephemera, except for some coffee dyed pages and one piece of vellum that I printed in the laser printer. But other than that, I really tried to keep it very antique, keep those antique vibes going and make it feel authentic and vintage, because it is, right? And so when I made ephemera for it, I tried to keep it very neutral. I didn't add in a lot of other color. I really only added in like a very pale aqua blue. It's a French Robin's Egg Blue. I hate to say the name because it drives people crazy, but Robin's Egg Blue Ephemera. So really mine is all neutral shades, white, tan, brown, cream, that kind of stuff, mixed with just a tiny little hint of blue every now and then. Now you could add pink, you could add red, you could add whatever color you wanted, but I tried to keep mine very soft, very sweet and serene. And so that was the aesthetic I was looking for. Anyway, let's chit chat. So gather your stuff. We'll get started here in a little bit. For those who are not aware, because we share this video out into the world, and some people, they've never been here before. So I'm just coming back from 4 or 5 weeks off where I moved my business and my home together. And it has been, an adventure for those of you who were here. There were some challenges and stuff like that. But we are in the new house. This is the new house. And the filming room, we've only been here a short period of time. We haven't been here long enough to set up the filming room, the filming studio, whatever you want to call it. I always hate calling my rooms like studios because I feel like, to me, it's like I'm not really an artist, so I don't have an artist studio or a filming studio. But anyway, whatever we want to call this room, we haven't been here long enough to set it up. All of my equipment is still the old equipment. For those of you looking for equipment updates, I have not changed, other than the arrangement of the elements. I haven't changed anything. Now, in the near future, we will be changing all of this, but we haven't been here long enough to get that done. And we did have some challenges with the internet, just getting internet that was stable and worked for us and getting it connected to the right area of the house, because while it was connected to one area, we couldn't get it to work on the other side of the house, etc. If you've moved, I'm sure you're very familiar with all of that. And so over the last little bit of time that we've been here, obviously I've been unpacking, doing all the normal, household move things. We've been trying to get set back up for live sales. We're still a little ways away from that. Not too far. It might be next week, but I'm not sure. It may be next week. We'll see how it goes. I don't know that it will be because we're a little ways away from that. But during the move, I had shipments that were still in process, customs. Because I buy things in Europe and I have them shipped over here, customs sometimes holds packages for a long period of time. Maybe they need more documentation and you have to wait for, the people on the other side in Europe to respond and that all to get cleared up. So I had inbound shipments and they were caught in the middle. The one thing I tried so hard to avoid, but inbound shipments were caught in the middle. And so we do have new shipments from many different places that are still here waiting to be unboxed. So once they get those unboxed and get a little more situated, today is the first live since I've been back, so I'm also testing the internet. Should you lose me at any point in time, it's just internet fluctuation. But anyway, I'll try to come back on if you lose me. I don't think it's going to happen. We've ran some tests, but I haven't done a live test with all of you. So anyway, we're still unpacking. We're getting set up. I don't know when live sales will start, but I do want to come and I want to craft. I have not been able to craft anything for months, really, because, getting ready to move and moving, right? So I'm itching for crafting. I'm like going stir crazy. I want to make something, right? And plus, when you tear down a craft room and you go through all of your supplies and you thin out, maybe you thin out some things that you're not using, but you rediscover things you forgot you had. I think it has been fun. I'm not going to say that like I really want to do it again soon, but it has been from the standpoint of finding new things and getting your mojo back and really feeling like, hey, I want to get in there and I want to make something. Going through your entire craft room and organizing it and thinning it out, rediscovering things. It has been a really good mojo maker. So yes, I'm very excited to craft. And we're we're still trying to get like we have the house set up to where we can like, okay, you can sleep, like you know where your clothes are. We had a washer dryer now, so that's been really helpful. But we're just in the very beginning stages here, and so while I lived at my last house for a really long time, moving has, you know, it's great, it's exciting, it's fun, but it does have its challenges. So if you guys just bear with me a little bit longer, I promise you I will get things set up better. I will find the rest of my craft supplies because I don't know what happens when you move, but you can organize and you can label every bin and every box, but somehow things just disappear. And I'm not saying like they're gone, I'm saying they're lost somewhere. They've been misplaced and they're either not in a labeled box or whatever. So I am missing some of my key crafting supplies. I'm sure they are here, but we haven't found them yet. But so just bear with me while we work out all of those kinks from the move. But as far as the house goes, we really are happy that we chose this house from the standpoint of it gives us the amount of space that we needed. I really like the area that we moved to. It wasn't a long distance move. It was really not far, but it's a different area, different kind of setup, a little bit different, like, I have to be careful exactly how I describe it, but a little bit different setup where we're kind of further out of town and we have some nice views and a little bit different wildlife. And so that has been wonderful. Now, that doesn't come without some of the normal challenges, like when you move and you have a new build and the builder and I have not agreed. We weren't agreeing before the close of the house, and we're definitely not agreeing now with the repairs that still need to be done. But we're bearing with the process. We're going with the process. We're bearing with them. We're having patience, and we're just waiting for them to work out some of the kinks, which also has been why the delay has been so long between me filming and you know, the last time you saw me and today. Part of that delay has been just builder issues where, you know, you can't set things up because they need to come in and tear down things. So basically, we're here. We're good. We like it here. It feels good. Every day it's feeling a little bit more and more like home. And we're good that, you know, we're happy that we have the space because the space is going to allow us to do more things with all of you. It's going to allow us to build out a studio that works very well. And also for live sale parts, it gives us a lot more space there too. So you'll see some exciting changes coming here in the future. This, even where I'm standing today, even though it is a new home, it is not the permanent home for what we do here together. That permanent home is still being constructed and it's going to take a long time, probably 9 months or so. So in about 9 more months, there will be a very brief delay this time because it's moving just to the back part of the property. And so when we do that, I'll let you know, but you probably will not even see a disruption of service during that short little move where we go from this house to the back part of the property. But anyway, how are you all? Thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for the patience during the whole process. I don't want to talk a lot about lifestyle business, but I will tell you that some people still have a package here waiting to ship. I think at this point, all but 2 packages have been paid for from the last live sale, and that was about 5-6 weeks ago. So if you paid before I moved, I gave very good instructions about like, hey, we're moving. We need you guys to pay by this day. If you pay after this day, then I will not be able to ship until we start business back up again. So if you did not pay by the date that I specified prior to selling, then you had to wait until we started back up again. So if you were one of those people that were caught in the middle, Your package will be shipping here in the next week or so as we get ready to start live sales again. So that's the only thing I think that's outstanding for that kind of business. But yeah, we're gonna craft. Are you guys ready? You guys ready to craft? I know it's hard for you guys too because you like to come in, you like to chat with all your friends, and while we do have a Facebook group and you guys are able to keep in touch that way, not everybody has Facebook or is on Facebook. So it has been a little bit of a challenge because some of you, when I'm gone, and it makes my heart so sad, but when I'm gone, you miss the rest of the crowd. I know you miss me a little bit too, but you miss the rest of the crowd. And so it always feels like I feel bad when I can't do the live because I know a lot of you, you don't have Facebook and this is the only way you can talk to the friends that you've made here. So I'm happy that we're up tonight. We're having this stream running. We'll be here for several hours making stuff. I'm hoping that you guys can get all caught up with one another and me, and we'll hang out and we'll make some stuff and have a good time in the process. You missed all the Frenchy stuff behind me. Well, we will have something amazing back there, but it will not be inventory or items like that. So we have something being done, but it's not going to be that kind of thing. A little bit different. You'll see the camera angles will change once we get this real studio set up. But for today, if it sounds echoey, it's because I'm in a basically empty room, and I don't know why, but this new house is very echoey. I think all new houses probably are, but it's very echoey, even though this room is carpeted. It's a spare bedroom and it's carpeted. I thought that would be enough to cut down the echo, but there still is kind of an echo. So I'm sorry, bear with me. And also, for those of you who have light sensitivities, when I do switch the camera down to the desk here in a minute, I will see that the lighting, we have a long way to go in this room with lighting. First of all, there is a large window off to this side giving tons of natural light, which for filming is an absolute no-no. But unfortunately, there is nothing to cover that with as of today. So when I switch the camera, just watch your eyes if you're light sensitive because there are some glares, some bright lights, etc. The filter on the streaming software is amazing for making people look rested and honestly younger, but but thank you, I appreciate that. I definitely need some layers for the sound, but we're working on it. Family is good, everybody survived. There were some, you know how it is when you move. You wake up the next day when you're finally in your new bed at your new house. You wake up and you're like, oh, yay, I'm here. The move is over. We're here. All of our stuff is here. And then you go to get out of bed and you're like, oh, wait a minute. I feel like a Mack truck ran me over. But everyone survived. My son did have a little bit of a hard time, just, he's still not doing the best, and so it was really challenging for him, just the move. But we all pulled through. We did good. We all worked hard. We're settling in. He's settling in his new space. I'm settling in. Like I said, every day the house is feeling a little more like home, so that's good. His rooms have the best views of the entire house. He has some amazing views I'm jealous of. But my room has it has some nice views too, but he has the best ones. And that makes him happy. He likes that. So everyone's good. Everyone's good. Doing good. How have you guys been? What have you guys been up to? Did you guys make a bunch of journals without me? I know some people are working on past journal kits that we did together, and you guys were finishing those up. It was fun to see you guys post those in the Facebook group. I saw people working in the French Country Journal from last July. I saw people still working in those. And just so you know, I also have to finish mine of that. And I saw people working in the White Quilt Journal, of course, and that's the one that we currently are on. I saw one or two posts about the fairy journals. I think the fairy journals, for most people, they've got them done by now. My three are finished for fairy journals. I need to post them, but they're finished. And the fairy journals were a journal kit from last February. I also have botanical journals. I haven't seen anybody work in their botanical journal kit that I'm aware of, but the journal kit, the botanical journal kit was last March's journal kit. And for those of you that don't know, the kits I'm talking about are physical junk journal kits. I do sell them during the live sales, but I used to have them on a monthly basis. And so there was a different theme every month, and it got all the supplies to make the journal. And I don't remember what was before botanical, but botanical was March, April or May was fairy. I don't know what we did in between, but July was a French country, which the French flag is red, white, and blue. And so it was red, white, and blue French country journal. After French country, I don't know what we did, but we've done a lot of journals together. I know we had a Christmas journal kit. I still have those to finish. I don't think I finished a journal in a year. And there, some of them are done, but I didn't do flip throughs and I didn't share that with you. So over the next little bit of time, hopefully I can get those done. I have bee journals from years ago. They just hang out in my UFO project box, the unfinished project box, UFPs, I don't know what they're called. They hang out in there. They've been in there for years. I think maybe that's just where they're going to live permanently. There's a red, white, and blue French country. There is a blue French journal, and we did those. I think we did those maybe in January, February. But yes, I did finish those, and those were sold. So yes, I have finished some journals in the last year. Oh my gosh, so funny. I know there have been a lot of things, a lot of projects. Yay. Okay, guys, I've chit-chatted for 23 minutes. Do you guys have questions for me? Not about live sale stuff. This isn't about live sale. This is about crafting and making journals. But do you guys have any questions for me or general questions for me? And I'll answer what I can answer. I just figured I'd open it up since I haven't seen you guys for a long time. Maybe somebody has a legitimate question about something. I don't know. It's hard because I haven't seen you guys in so long, and I see that I think some people maybe changed their user IDs too, or their YouTube name, right? Their YouTube name. So I'm going to have to reacquaint myself with all the new or changed user IDs. I don't see any questions coming in. So let's get started. Let's do something. We're here, right? So let's get started. Let's make some things. So I'm going to switch the camera down now. Bear with me. There is a Stamperia paper pad on the desk. No retreat news yet. No retreat news. You'll never change yours. That's good, because I won't change mine either. So that's good. No retreat news. Yeah. Okay, let's do it. Let's switch the camera down. So here's the current lighting situation. It certainly could be better. When I take this away, you will see we have some lovely glare and hot spots and whatever, but it is what it is. Bear with me. We will correct that situation shortly. By the way, this Stamperia paper pad is from Amazon. I just used it because it gave the camera something to focus on, and I could see, how color was going to be. This is one. Maybe we could do this like for purple, the purple journal. It's pretty. Has some French letters in it. Like these are scans of French letters, postcards. I don't know. We need to do a purple journal kit. We have a boho journal kit coming. All kinds of things. Okay, so white quilt journals. This is where white quilt journal started. White Quilt Journal started as a physical junk journal kit. Again, I apologize for the lighting. It's going to be hot. It's going to be glary, whatever. But this is where, right there, this is where White Quilt Journal began. It began as a kit just like this. And you got the quilt piece, you got some lace, you got the stuffed pages, whatever, right? Well, this is where my 3 journals stand. I have signatures sewn in them. Boy, the lighting is very difficult. I have signatures sewn in them, right? This guy has some lace coming out the front edge, the foredge. I'm not sure what all y'all can see, but some quilting on that. It's got a signature in it. Like I said before, I didn't use digitals. I used old paper. This is the Robin's Egg blue color that I'm talking about. It's really the only color I focused on. So, you know, it's got all of its pages. It has some built-in pockets and ephemera and stuff like that, but we're going to keep working in these. So that's, I think, the one that's the farthest along. I have 2 more that are very similar, but they don't have any lace on the page edges. They're more plain. But I did make a lot of ephemera with you guys in the past, and I'm hoping I can find that. But for tonight, we're going to use whatever ephemera I was able to find, and we're going to start by decorating that front cover of the journal. So for that, your kit came with a piece of lace, the big wide white lace, and that's what I'm going to put on there. And we are probably going to be putting some of the gold on. The gold also came in your kit. So let's get started by covering my work surface. We're going to use Fabri-Tac glue. If I can find some Fabri-Tac, yes, I did bring it in. I'm going to use Fabri-Tac glue to glue down all of the lace and the cover piece that we're going to construct. So you want to grab this wide lace, like if you bought the kit, you got a piece of wide white lace. You're going to want to grab that. Fabri-Tac glue to fabric, right? Because the quilt cover is fabric, so we use Fabri-Tac, right? Basic. Let me see what else we need. We're going to want to construct the cover piece first so that it can dry, and then we will layer it up and use that lace. And to construct the cover piece, I'm going to cover my work surface with some parchment paper, and that can kind of help out with some of that glare and hot spot and whatever too. I hate to, you know, have your eyeballs be hurting from the glare. Nobody would like that, right? Okay, so we need, I'm looking for something very sturdy, like a piece of cardboard, which you know I have a bunch of cardboard boxes because I just moved. But we need some cardboard to construct. Hold on 2 seconds. There's going to be a lot of things. I'm going to have to leave this room a couple of times to grab stuff. This needs to go off of the table. Okay. So what I want is I want a piece of cardboard. It can be part of a cardboard box that you cut up or tore down or whatever you want to say. And for me, I'm going to show you exactly how I prep the cardboard so that we can build our cover. And you can use this technique that I'm going to show you today. You can use it to build a cover piece for any style of journal, for any type of journal. It doesn't have to be a soft cover journal. It doesn't have to be a white quilty French antique. You could literally use what I'm showing you today to build a cover for any kind of journal, like a cover piece. It's a decorative piece that glues to the front cover. Let me grab a piece of cardboard. Okay, so if you've ever gotten a package from me, a lot of times we will put a piece of plain brown cardstock. It's not cardstock, it's cardboard. Plain brown cardboard in your package to sturdy it up, to keep your papers from bending or something like that, right? It is flexible, it is thin. What we're gonna do today is cut one of these up. So when you get your packages, if you get one of these in a package, you might tuck it to the side and you might save it so that you could build cover pieces out of it. So we're going to want that. If you don't have this cardboard piece, cutting down like a priority mail box or something that you got a package in. Maybe you got Happy Mail, which I do have some Happy Mail announcements to make as well. But maybe you got a package from somewhere and it's in one of the thinner cardboard. This one is very thin. It's not like super thick cardboard box like you would have packed dishes with or something. It's quite thin. So anyway, maybe you can recycle. The priority mailboxes are usually the same thickness as this, just so you know. But we're going to cut this guy down. Any piece of cardboard will work. Even if it has writing on it, it will still work because we're going to prep this. So if it has writing or, you know, it's a cereal box or whatever, it doesn't matter. We're going to prep it. So we're going to cut this cardboard down. And, oops, we need water. Okay, I'm going to cut it. Do I have a ruler in here? A regular ruler? Maybe somewhere? I do. I have a ruler. Cool. I have a really crooked bench ruler. Do you guys see how it like curves? It's not straight. Wood changes over time, right? So it's not really great for measuring things. My point is we want to measure our quilt journal. It is roughly 6 inches by roughly, this one is 9 3/4-ish, right? So I'm going to make my piece about 4.5 inches. And I cut it with the Tonic Tim Holtz cutter. It cuts cardboard just fine. I find that it cuts thicker materials better than it cuts thinner materials. Okay, so I cut it at 4.5. Now and that's the width. 4.5 is the width across the cover. So 4.5 is what I want to go this way. And now I've got 9 3/4 to play with here. Let's do it at 6 inches and see how I feel about that. Okay. Don't throw away your little scraps. They make awesome other pieces of ephemera, pockets, etc. But let's do that. Let's see how we like this shape, this size on our cover. So we could do that. That's a little big for me. And just a tip right off the bat, you don't want to center it. You don't want to center it where it's even here and here and here and here. You always want to center it to start with, right? Center it to start with, and then push it up just a little bit. It should be slightly higher than center, okay? When you center it like that, it's a little bit different of a look, right? A little bit different of a look than when you just shift it up. When you shift it up, it allows you some nice space for some lace down here. It looks more like a book cover. If you've ever looked at a book cover, oftentimes the center image is actually shifted up just a little bit. So I think it's a little too wide for what I'm looking for. It works, but it's just a little bit too wide. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to cut it down to 4. I'm going to make it 4 by 6. Here we go. There's my cover. There's 4 by 6. I'm very happy with 4 by 6. 4 by 6 looks great. It's the right size. I'm happy with that. The other size would have worked just fine as well. There's no right or wrong. It's just I prefer the look of that, basically. All right, so sorry for the banging and the shaking and every other thing that will happen. I'm going to cut this one more time just because we can, and I actually need 3 of them. So we went, the finished size is 4 by 6. There we go. 4 by 6. There we go. And we got 2 of them. All right, next, that's all we're really cutting with the cardboard. All of that is done. Now we want to do something that's a little bit more difficult. You don't have to do this step. This step is optional. But what I recommend is that you don't leave all of the cardboard intact. Like, see how the cardboard, it's very flat, plain, whatever. I like to take the pokey tool. Sometimes you can, you'll get lucky and you'll be able to just kind of bend that corner and pull a little bit of the paper off. We're trying to pull the paper, not the corrugate. And I'll show you what I mean. We don't want to pull the middle layer. We want to pull just the paper that is covering the corrugate. So you got to stick your hand in there, get that paper and pull that paper back. We're trying to expose this. We don't want it perfect. We don't want it all off. I mean, you could do you, but I think it looks better when it's just every now and then kind of natural, however it pulls off, right? And sometimes it's difficult, and that's what the pokey tool is for. Is sometimes if you can't get it started, depending on, whatever kind of cardboard box you were using, sometimes it doesn't want to pull. Like, I got a pretty good piece that time. If it doesn't want to pull, because it's corrugate, right, there's a channel in there, and you can get the pokey tool down in the channel and then pull up, and that kind of breaks the paper where you can get a hold of it, and then you can pull. And so just kind of pull. If you have some loose bits, pull those off. You don't want to do the whole thing because we're going to layer up another image in the center. So just a little bit of chippy edge is really all we're looking for. You don't want to pull the whole thing. You might, say, okay, well, I have some here, I have some here showing. I want a little bit here showing. You can get the pokey tool in there. Just make sure you're going through only the paper. You don't want to pull the corrugate off. Just pull the paper a little bit, help that tear, kind of pull that off. And that's okay for this one. This is fine. Now we're going to work here. Now the channels, you can see the channels run this direction. So you're not really going to be able to pull from that edge, not very easily anyway. You can try to go in from the side. Sometimes I'm lucky and sometimes I'm not. Just wanting to pull the corrugate. Let's work up here for just a second. We'll pull that guy off. How many of you guys have made corrugate journal toppers before? That's really what we're making, is we're making a journal topper, a corrugate journal topper. And that's okay for that edge. So we have 2 edges done. We want to do just a little bit more up here, just like that. I really like putting cardboard on the front cover of a journal. We usually have a lot of it to recycle, right? It's pretty easy to find some cardboard, right? And it's a good way of repurposing it, giving it another life, and making it, cardboard was just intended to be used for, industrial, whatever purposes. It never meant to be all fancy, right? And so we're going to make this cardboard really fancy by the time we're done with it. Yeah. Okay. So I've got 3 sides. This side right here is the only side that is giving me trouble peeling. And I'm going to try try it again down here. I'm just looking to pull the paper. Here we go. A little bit more right there. I think the cardboard is nice because it gives you a lot of structure and stability and texture, all the things that we like on the front cover of our journals, right? And so we could leave it like that, but I'm going to do a little more here just to kind of match the depth, see how much we have exposed here. I'd like a little bit more to be exposed here. So I'm going to go in and try pulling that paper up and exposing just a little bit more. They have different types of corrugate that you can buy. Like I tore the whole entire hole right there. Not going to matter, but they have different types of corrugate that you can buy that is already exposed. While I do like that for certain purposes, it loses the natural torn, rough look because it's all exposed, right? It never had paper covering it. And it loses the torn, rough look. And for me, I prefer this, plus I get to recycle. So this one is good. This one is finished. And I'm going to leave it just like that. And I will do the other one off camera just so you don't have to sit while I pull cardboard paper off. But we don't do anything to the back side. The back side is fine. Now, if you were like me and you accidentally tore off some of the actual corrugate, if you make a mistake, you can always flip it over and start tearing from this side, and then you can glue it down whatever side you like best. This is fine. No one is going to even notice that once we're done with this. So we're going to keep going with that one. Okay, and then all of this, of course, goes in the bin. And the next thing that you're going to want to grab is gesso. Now, if you don't have gesso, you can use white paint. Most of us have white paint, white ink, like a picket fence, Tim Holtz ink. Yeah, I can't talk either. Tim Holtz has a picket fence color of ink, and it is literally a milky white. Kind of looks similar to paint, white paint that's thinned out. So white paint, white gesso, or some type of white texture paste will work. I'm going to grab gesso and a brush, and we will get started. Okay, so I just grabbed a regular, I don't know, cheapy kind of craft paintbrush. I don't know what it actually is, but also I packed my gesso, and I did not open it up yet. So this is the way I packed an open bottle of gesso. I put it in a Ziploc bag and I taped all around because it went in a box after that, and I was worried, like, what if it opened and spilled? And in the top of this plastic bag, you can see that it actually did leak a little bit. So it's a good thing that I did that because it was an open bottle already. Like, I had used it a couple times. So good thing I packed it like that. But the bad thing is I didn't pre-cut it out because I wasn't exactly sure if I was making my cardboard topper this way. And then I decided I wanted to, so now we're dealing with opening it on camera. Not a big deal. There it is. Awesome. Okay, moving on. Get that cleaned up. We're going to paint this with the gesso, and we're going to dry brush it. So dry brushing means you're not adding any water. Your paintbrush is dry when you start. Don't get your paintbrush wet either. Just use it completely dry. We don't want to add moisture to cardboard. If you have cardboard and you add moisture, it's going to become soft, wet, mushy cardboard. So we don't want to do that. We want to keep it dry, and plus that will allow us to use this piece right away and glue it to the top of our journal instead of having to wait for that cardboard to dry out. So I keep my gesso with the seal kind of just sitting on it. And I like to just pick up whatever is in there, right? Whatever is in there around the lid. And it doesn't take much to dry brush this. You could pour a little bit out onto a craft mat. You're not looking at, you don't want this, I don't want it completely painted white. I want to hit some of it a little more than others, but I'm not trying to cover every little bit. I just want, and again, we're only focusing on the edges because we're not going to see the center. We're going to cover the center with something else. But you just want to kind of hit it here and there. Some places are naturally getting hit twice, whatever. They're becoming more white. Other places are just a little bit, you know, a little bit lighter than the regular cardboard. Okay, messy is fine. The only thing I will caution you is make sure that you hit the edge, the actual edge of it. I mean, you don't have to make sure, but I like the look of it where the edge is actually white. So I'm just going to make sure I get some of the brown cardboard and turn it white. I think it looks better, especially on a white quilt journal. And if your corners are no longer perfectly square, that is totally fine. Not going to matter one little bit. This is a vintage journal anyway, so not going to care if the corners of your cardboard are not perfectly straight anymore. Okay. Just hit it as best as you can. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Again, I got a little more paint now, so I can, or gesso now, so I can kind of hit some areas a little more rough, mixed media, whatever. Like you can get some paint down in that channel if you want. It's really just a messy project. You could have grandkids, whatever, help you with it. Now I'm just going around and I'm looking at, you know, what's going to be exposed once I glue my focal point on here. So just kind of dry brushing it a little bit more. And this is because I'm just really getting the gesso out of my brush. And I'm just hitting it a little bit more in case, you know, maybe something shows more than I thought it was going to. I have no plan. We're crafting on the fly, so it's what it is. Okay, that's it. That's what I've got in my brush. We're going to leave that one just like that. Okay, so then I saw a question about the Liquitex. We'll answer you. This is what I just used. Liquitex gesso. It's just a liquidy white matte finish medium. So there's that. And the dry brushing technique, like this is pretty much instantly dry. I mean, by the time I figure out what I want to put here and glue it down, this is completely dry, and then we can immediately glue this to the front cover of our journal. So I'll let that sit there for just a minute, and then we're going to figure out what we really want to see, because this is just a layer, right? This is a layer, but we really want to see something pretty, right? We want to see either flower, French lady, you know, something that you want to see that you like, that makes you happy to look at, right? So let's talk about our next layer. My next layer, I want to start out with a piece of cardstock. I'm going to use a piece of scrapbooking cardstock. You can use whatever you have laying around. You could use like an old Sears Roebuck catalog page. You could use a book page. You could use book page glued to cardstock. You could use Tim Holtz cardstock. Let me show you some options. So you could use, if you got the memoranda, like the old reprint Tim Holtz cardstocks, you could use those. He has a French industrial. It would be beautiful. You could use just regular, this is coffee dyed cardstock. You could use that. What I'm going to use is this is cardstock scrapbooking paper. You can see it has a very mixed media, paint splotchy. You can see there's some gesso in here. There's literally splatters of blue paint. It's a blue-gray color tone. You can see some book page mixed in there. There's like a little bit of ledger or something in there, some tickets maybe, I don't know. But this is what it looks like. The camera, I'm so sorry. The camera and lighting is going to be terrible, especially because, you know, it's getting later afternoon. But whatever, this is what I'm using. It's a 49 in market. You cannot find it anymore. It's called Serenity Brief Glimpse. You can't find it. It's old. I've had it for a long time. Any type of scrapbooking cardstock will work. On the back side of this, it's just a little blue ditzy print, blue and white ditzy print. Any type of pattern cardstock will work. I'm going to use this side because I want to get some of this mixed media texture. If you want to mimic what I'm doing here and you don't have this piece of cardstock and that annoys you, sometimes I see people make stuff and I'm like, you used something we can't get, but I'm totally in love with what you just made and I want to make it. Well, here's how this piece of cardstock was made. They took some cardstock, they glued some book page to it, they maybe glued some ledger, they put a little bit of washi tape, they splattered, they gessoed, they dry brushed, they used a little light blue paint. You can mimic the exact same thing yourself at home. So if you absolutely have to have something that looks like this is easy to obtain, okay? Very easy to obtain at home. I'm cheating and I'm using something that's already made, but you know, it's okay. It's all right. Okay, so, and this is just another background layer. This isn't the main element. This is a background layer. So in the end, in the finished project, you may or may not see this very much at all. So let's get this cut down. I'm going to cut it, and I'm trying to get out exactly, you know, a piece that I want. Not cutting any particular size at the moment. Just kind of looking to see what gives me a little bit of pattern, texture, whatever. We can see about 6. That's not a straight cut, but we can see about 6. We're going to need to go about 4.5 wide. We could try 4 3/4, but I think we're going to want 4.5. And this is 4 by 6, so we probably want between 4.5 and 4 3/4. No, that's not right. This is 4 by 6, and we want 3.5 or 3 3/4 wide. So I will be recutting that. Oh no, I did it right. I did 3 3/4. We're good. Okay, this is 4 by 6. You want to glue this on here and still see some of your roughed up cardboard. So we're going to go 3.5. It's been a little while. We're going to go 3.5. So 3.5 wide on your second layer, 3.5 wide, and which side do I want to take some off of? I am going to take some off the bottom. You can see right now I have it 6 inches. We want some to show, so we're going to look at 5.5. We're going to look at that first. So now I have 3.5 by 5.5, and this is what it looks like layered up. 3.5 by 5.5. You can see some cardboard. It's not exactly laid on there straight. You can see some cardboard. That's pretty good. If you want to see some additional cardboard underneath, you could cut it a little bit smaller. I like that. I think that's fine for me. I don't want it any smaller. So my base cardboard is 4x6. My second layer of cardstock scrapbooking paper ended up being 3.5 by 4.5. Just a 1/2 inch smaller on each side. So there's that one. Okie doke. Moving on. We're going to attach these two together, but before we do that, I want to add more layers here. And I know I have gesso all over me, but we want to add more layers, right? So before I glue anything together, I always lay it out and finish it all and then make sure like 100 times before I actually glue. So for now, we can set this to the side and we're going to focus just on this guy here. Now we have book page back there. You guys really cannot see at all. I might have to change lighting as it gets darker, but there's book page. Where can I show you? There's like no good lighting spot at all. There we go. There's some book page back there, right? So I don't really want to add more book page, but there isn't any music on here. So I could add a little bit of music. I could add some braille paper. I could add other things with texture. I want to have my finished focal point either be one of my French fashion ladies or a blue kind of botanical flower. I honestly haven't decided, and I might make, because I made 3 journals, right? I might make some with flowers and some with ladies. But for tonight, let's just keep working with this and see what it wants to become. Let me look in my bin of scraps and see about a botanical image. So this is the Florilegium book. I've taken mine out of the cover, but it's a Florilegium book. I've linked it for you guys many times. There's nothing but beautiful botanical images pretty much in here. I like to take this and use these for focal points. So because I'm keeping my journal all blue, white, cream, neutral, etc., I'm going to use a botanical flower that is also blue or white. To just kind of blend in. So, you know, we can cut out whatever we want to cut out of this. We could put just this if we wanted. You can see that kind of blends beautifully. It's lovely. That would work. There's a larger one that's more purple toned there. All of these are so beautiful. Beautifully illustrated. Really old, authentic looking illustrations too. I'm sure this is like a reproduction book of an ancient one. I forget exactly what it says when it was done, but it is old. What about this blue one right here in the center? It's got that little bit of yellow. I am super picky, so I'm looking for the perfect one. How many of you are making the cardboard journal topper with me right now? You all have gesso on your hands. That's great. I love it. We're getting creative together. I love that. Love it. Yellow is a good option if I can't find the perfect blue. There's some, I call them Queen's lace. I'm not sure exactly. They're similar looking. But even something in the white colorway would work. How many making the topper with me? How many making the journal topper? Karen is. Hello, Karen. That's awesome. Thank you for crafting with me. Love it. Okay, we have some lovely options in white. I didn't see too much in the blue way. Yeah, not too much left in the blue. And this is a partial book. I've probably already used most of my favorites. Usually the blue ones are pretty much the first ones I use. I use probably more blue flowers than any other color flower, even more than white. Looking, looking. I keep finding that one with the yellow pods. There is some black and white text, whatever gives you some information. Okay, so it is going to have to be one of these white ones. Or I could switch and made. Lena's making one. The scatter bee, I don't remember. I think you changed your user ID. Bear with me as I get to know all the user IDs that have changed in the last month. The scatter bee is fussy cutting, and she'll go back and rewatch and make the topper. Melody's making one. Carol is finished with this journal, but she's making another journal. Esther is crafting along. Thank you, Esther. Love that. Jody is, thank you. Does glue count? Awesome. Whatever you're doing, as long as you're crafting, right? That's awesome. It's always fun to craft, make something. Okay, so there's some botanical images, right? Now, if we don't want a botanical image, right, you can see kind of where I'm going with it. If you don't want a botanical image, we have French fashion ladies. And I'm hoping that there is an original one somewhere in this bucket. I'm never without them. I'm never without them. However, should you not have an original botanical image, you could use something like a stamped image, right? A black and white stamped image will work on there. You could use like a photograph of a flower could work. There are many options for getting the same look without having the same exact thing that I have here crafting with, right? I'm looking for a French fashion magazine. You guys know I'm never without them, except for today. Still looking. There has to be one in here. I literally don't leave home without them. Okay. I said I never leave home without them. What I have are scraps of one. Let's see if I can find some kind of image that is going to fit nicely on there. Like she's a little large. She's even bigger. She's missing her face, so that won't do. The little head is cute, but not what I'm looking for. We have some dresses. Not really about sewing, or else dresses would be great. It's not what I'm looking for. So the answer to that is no, I don't have the perfect one of those. But this is what I'm talking about for French fashion ladies. There has to be another one in here. Don't make me walk out there and get the book, because I will. I might just have to, guys. How strange. Okay, let me grab another French fashion magazine. Sorry for that. Sometimes I can't find what I'm looking for, which is a lot now. But eventually, I knew I would find one of these. So we have a French fashion magazine, original 1870s, it looks like for this one, something around that. We could put children. I'm looking for a smaller image of a woman. So this one right here with the parasol would probably be very, very cute. Right there. We won't get the whole lady, but we will get a lot of her. We could use that. We could use the children. Really not much there. I think she's probably our best bet. Let's use the parasol lady. What's killing me is we'll lose the fanciness of her dress. Well, we can't be too choosy here. We have to craft with what we have. Okay, so I am going to cut this image up, this large image here. I found what I'm looking for. We're going to lose this side, which is sad, but it's okay at the same time. This is kind of like a beach scene, and these were the bathing suits. These are bathing suits. They're fully wearing the bathing suit. Isn't that crazy that this is a bathing suit? All of that fabric. I would think that you would drown just because of the weight of the fabric alone. But I know they weren't really actually allowed to swim. So we're going to cut that up. We're going to use her in just a little bit, and I'm going to put her on a temp. So we will keep this out, and we will keep working with this same one. You guys can go over to the side too. Let's keep going, and I'll show you both versions so that you guys can kind of see how each one would come out. Let's do some fussy cutting. I need some glue sticks, some ink. You were just typing that? I lost my good pair of glasses right before we moved. And then I thought I was going to find them because I figured, surely they have to be here somewhere. We should know that we never, ever found my glasses. Like, never found them. If I cut out this lady and this little boy right here, we'll have a little bit of this lady's dress, but I still think it's cute. So that's where I'm going to go. We could put the lady in the chair on there, but I think it's kind of different. So I'm just going to cut into it. What we get is what we get. Right. This must have been a summer issue of this magazine because they're all in bathing suits. So now here's where we have to make some difficult decisions. I do want the woman, the one single woman, but I could get them all. All right, we're going to attempt to get all three, and we'll see how they look. I don't want too many people, but I'm pretty sure one of them's getting edited out of here. I'm going to fussy cut these ladies. Now, if you don't have ladies, if you don't have an original fashion magazine or, something similar that you can cut up, you could use photograph, Tim Holtz kind of vintage photograph. What does he call those? Paper dolls. Yes, you could use that. You could use, maybe you've got some kind of photograph that you are willing to cut up. Maybe it's like a 50s photograph. It's black and white, something like that. But Tim Holtz does have those packs of people. And a lot of times they're from Victorian times. So those will work too. Other than that, there's lots of packs of ephemera, and they have little people in them these days. You could use an old CDV or cabinet card type of photograph that you could scan and then cut up the scan of it, you know. There's digitals on Etsy where people have the old magazines like these, or they have CDVs and stuff like that scanned in that you can purchase the scans and then you can craft with those. So there's a lot of ways of getting antique images, antique ladies to cut up and use. And I gotta go just around her hand or decide to cut it off. I have only the big scissors in here, so she's kind of like pointing her finger. She might get a little bit of a manicure while I'm here. She might lose the fingernail. She probably lost a little more than that, but we're gonna see how that goes. Okay, so you can see these are my ladies and my little boy. Her head is just bent right there. These are my ladies. And I could get all three of them on there. We'd lose some of her chair, etc. I'm going to cut out just the two, just the little boy, and I'm going to be kind of ruthless with it. Just the little boy and the lady. And now I could do this on something else where she's like sitting and poking her finger from this side, right? I could do that. But I've got these two. And you're like, well, there's no body. There's nothing else there. Don't worry. I'm going to fill that in. But I think I'm going to use these for my people. Okay. This is great. It's perfect right there on that side. I can still see all my mixed media. I'm trying to show you, but there we go. I can still see all of my mixed media bits over here, and I will fill in this area with something else. So that's where I'm going to leave that one. Okay. And now if I had like some kind of label, something that would, you know, cover this, like a label would be great. I could even cut out the flower and do the flower kind of layered up down there, maybe some little bushy flowers or something. Just a strip of music paper is probably where my brain is going, but it's just nice because it fills in. And I said there wasn't any music paper on here to begin with. And I think it's an easy filler. So even when you get the French fashion magazines and you don't get a whole entire person to craft with, this is how we make that work. So I'm going to glue her down first. And I need a glue stick. Now my glue sticks, you know, I haven't crafted in a long time. So my Uhu blue is now white. But more than that, I'm using an old piece of newspaper. So I'm going to want to make sure that this is very light touch. I don't want this magazine image to tear. So I'm going to glue very carefully. If you're not using an old one, then it probably isn't going to tear on you. But because I'm using an old one, I have to be very careful. Okay. So we have glue. And I'm just going to plop her down over here on the side. I want the kid all the way on. That looks about right. She's kind of straight. There we go. So there's my real focal point. There's the lady and the kid. I didn't ink it. It's old newspaper. It's good. Didn't ink it. We will ink the finished project, but we don't need to ink the little lady. Okay, moving on. How you guys doing out there? How are you doing? You liking the project so far? So far, this is where we're at. We've got a cardboard topper. The cardstock that I'm using has this little bit of brown strip up here, and I really like it. And it's going to play well with one of the finishing elements we're going to do. So I left it like that. Now we're going to come in and we're going to fill this area in with just a scrap of music. Let's the music on there. I've got all these extra pieces of paper. Okay, so music. You can see that we have a lot of white on here. I mean, you probably can't see because terrible lighting, but I could put a little bit of white music on there and that would be fine. Or I could choose to go with something a little bit creamier in color. Little creamy one, just a different look. And since, you know, there are some shades of tan and neutral and stuff in here, I think it might be nice to get that on there. So I'm just gonna tear this. This is really old music paper. Not really tearing perfectly, but we'll make it work. And I think that will fill in that bottom section perfectly. Now, I don't want it to be flush down here at the bottom. I want to tear a little more of my music away. Right? Here we go. Perfect. That's perfect. So I've got something to kind of cover up that she has no feet. That's great. I can put it right there. We don't need to see that she doesn't have any feet. It's all good. So let's glue this down. I don't need to ink it. I didn't use the white music. I actually ended up using the creamy color one. And I'm not going to ink this one either. It doesn't need ink right now. Again, though, it's old paper, old original paper. So I know I have some excess paper that I will end up tearing off, but I'm going to glue the whole thing. Getting all those edges super glued. And then I'm just going to lay this down as low as I can where I don't feel like it's super obvious that my lady doesn't have any feet. Okay, so that is glued on there. It actually says 2/4 time or something like this. I'm not sure. There we go. And we could wrap it around. I'm just going to cut it off. All right. There's that. That's really all we were going for, is just some kind of decorative element on there. Now, the next thing that I want to do is I'm going to ink it, but you don't have to ink it. And what I would recommend is that you sew around it and then ink it. Hoping I actually have some ink. I do. I like to ink everything that I make with Distress Oxide Vintage Photo. I know it's terrible. I'm so sorry. Photo, but you can't see anything because I like it. So I like the oxide. It's creamy. It's a lighter shade. It's not as harsh as the regular Vintage Photo. Just a little bit more real, authentic, old looking, in my opinion. And I'm so sorry, I'm shaking the whole entire desk and everything. This is my first craft with me back from my move. Thank you guys all so much for joining me and hanging out with me. So as you can see, I have some lighting issues, etc., to be worked out, shaking desk, etc. But we will continue to work on it. This studio is just a temporary one until we get everything set back up. Okay, so that got it. We're good. But what I would recommend you do is you sew around it. Sewing around it is just going to add one more layer of texture to our piece, right? I want to try to show you up close, and it just turns super blue, but it's just got that roughed up cardboard behind it that we gessoed. But if you do just a little stitch line, a single, a double, messy, whatever you want to do, but that little bit of sewing is really going to make this piece pop. Now, I don't have my sewing machine right here. It's actually still in the box because I put it back in its original box to move it. So I do want to sew around mine, but I will continue to assemble it and we will figure that out later. Next, you could, when you glue this down, so say you take this to your sewing machine and you sew around it. If you're sewing, if you're not sewing or don't have a sewing machine, you don't have to sew around it. But Another way of adding some texture would be to take a black fine liner, just a black pen, and do some little lines, just straight lines, just to kind of outline this a little bit more. So if you can't sew around it, take a black pen, just a couple little squiggly lines down the side, just outlining it, framing it, just a little bit like that. Okay, so that'll work. Another option is you could layer up some lace back here if you like more lace. I have any lace like that? We're gonna find more lace because we need it anyway. So let me just grab it. I do need lace. And sorry, my chair is popping. I do not understand what has happened to it, but it is popping. So here's a piece of lace. That happened. So we could layer up some lace. My chair rolled into the desk. We could layer up some lace behind our focal point. Play with the shape of that a little bit to where you have some cardstock or cardboard showing. You have a little lace peeking out. I would tear it and cut the lace a little bit over here, but you could certainly layer some lace. I am having the hardest time showing you guys what I'm talking about, but you could layer lace between these two layers. Okay, another texture. We're all about adding texture right now to this journal topper. Remember, the journal topper is going on a white quilt cover journal. So it's just a white quilt cover. It's soft, it's squishy, and you're gonna put your piece of cardstock on there eventually. Cardboard, goodness sakes, girl. And then you're gonna put some lace on there. You could actually cheat it this direction. Put your topper on after your sewing or whatever is finished. And that's a simple one. We could add more lace down here, a little label. You could do a postage stamp or some other kind of label up there. I do have some more embellishing I'm going to do on here, but let's continue. So I need to find the German laundry tape. I don't know if I actually have it or if I'm just going to be frustrated that I don't, but let's find out together. Let's find out together where that has gone. Oh, here's some little temples, people, that you could have used a photo out of this pack too. If you don't have the old French fashion magazine ladies, any of these kind of photographs layered up on here would have worked just fine too. Like, you don't even have to really do the cardstock behind it, the scrapbook cardstock. But if you want to, you can. You could just do her in some lace or these girls in some lace. But see how the cardboard really does make a beautiful topper if you just did. And this is for any journal. It doesn't have to be like an antique or a French or whatever journal, right? So just do a little lace. See, the lace poking out with that torn cardboard really does look nice. I am so trying to show you. Anyway, you get the idea, but I found these ladies, so I'll show you. This is called Found Relatives from Temples. All right, guys. Let's keep going. Moving on, I'm looking for German tape. I don't see any German tape. Okay, cool. I don't know where all of my stuff is. I thought for sure I packed that. Give me 1 second because I think it's in my rolling scrapbook tote, like when you go away to retreats. Give me 1 second. Is it in here? Wait. It might be in here. Is it? It is not. It just looks like it. Hold on 1 second. Goodness. You know, sometimes we're just looking for the perfect thing and we need to find it. And so I'm looking for the perfect thing. And in my brain, it says I need this German tape stuff. So that's what we got. Okay. So I just wanted to cover just a little other element. I like the fact that it's brown, tan in color, and I just wanted to add a little bit of it right here, right at the top, and then I'm going to put a label right here, okay? So let's keep working on this. We're almost done with it. Then we're going to glue it all on, and we need to make a couple pockets and a couple tags slash journal cards, right? So let's get that glued. Let's get that taped on there. Okay, there's that one. And we need a label. I did bring in these. Again, Impulse always has the best like antique reproduction little packs of ephemera. And these ones, they have red, blue, and black. And the blue ones in here are good for what I'm making. And he has different shapes. He's got some bigger ones, right? So you could layer that up and just have just a hint of the music paper showing. I would probably choose something just a little bit smaller. Let's see what else we have in the blue family. I've got something that's that shape. Again, it's probably just a little bit too big, but I promise you there is a Goldilocks one in here. Looking. There is a Goldilocks one. There's a Goldilocks one. There's a little label for us. We can position it wherever we want, but that'll work. An antique label is great, but I don't have millions of them. I have some, but not millions. I mean to take them and put them on the scan bed and scan them for you all. We'll work on that. We have tons of things to scan. Whenever I was moving and packing, I found so many things that I had set aside because I wanted to share them with you all. Like I only have one of them, but I wanted to make more, like scan them, turn them into digitals or some other products. And I wanted to save those and share them with you all. So I found a bunch of that stuff that I had set aside. And then I met someone who gave me some really great ideas and some connections. And this person also lives in Arizona and is pretty well known in the craft business. And so I met this person and he gave me some great tips of having some of my original one-of-a-kind items made into products that you all can have and craft with at home too. So that was a really great serendipitous meeting. All right, so let's get that label on there, okay? Now, because it's cardstock and it's Timples, I usually use art glitter glue. In honesty, all honesty, I haven't opened this in a month. I do not know if the tip is going to work or if the tip is going to be clogged. Usually, you know, it gets clogged if you don't use it, but hey, it's working. Look at that. Even after, I don't know, it's probably been 2 or 3 months since I've used it and it didn't clog. That's an amazing thing. Anyway, so art glitter glue on cardstock. So yes, we'll be turning some of my original stuff into some fun things for you all. I'm gonna do it like this. And I want it kind of there-ish. Straight would be good. But kind of there. Love that. Perfect. Cute. It's really just a little journal card. And if you already have some journal cards that you made, take a made journal card, glue the made journal card to some corrugated cardboard torn gessoed stuff, and it will make a great journal topper. Now I am going to put the lace behind there. I've looked at it a couple times. I know that I want the lace behind there to add another layer, especially because I can't sew this one right here on camera with you all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some wide lace, and the first thing I want to do is I want to get rid of this little edge over here. So there's my little edge. That could be a great little fun tag topper. But I just tore off that little line over there. Don't really want to see the line. And then I'm just going to layer this up kind of like that. That will be good. I need to make a snip here, and I need to make a snip there. And that tells me where I want to pull it and tear it. You try in, there we go. I've torn out a section there, and I need to come over here, and I need to tear that little section. I want some torn, some rough. I'm not being careful with my lace. I just, I'm trying to rough it up, make it look a little older. It looks kind of old. We could use a little more fraying down here. Use a little more fraying, so we're going to fray that up. And I don't really need that guy right there. Sorry, everything is so like echoey and loud in here. All right, so there's those. Now we're going to use that fabric tack again, or for the first time. The fairy journal was March or April, May. I think March, April, May, something like that. No, it wasn't March. March was botanical. It was either April or May of last year for the fairy journal. I have 3 of those journals completed. I will be showing them in a flip through, and then those will be available for sale. But we will be doing another fairy journal as a kit eventually. I don't like to repeat the same kind of theme too close together. But I promise you it's not the last fairy journal we will do. I like the theme. I think it's cute. There's a lot of available material to use old and vintage things to go with it, right? So that's going to work. So I've got my lace on there. I can adjust my lace after I glue it down here in just a second. But I like that. That looks pretty good. So there's what we're going to do there. It's killing me to not sew that guy. Killing me not to sew it. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to make some edits. It's a little too perfect. I want it to look a little less perfect. A little more chewed, worn, vintage, whatever. And so I'm just kind of taking those scissors and almost like fraying it. I just did a lot of little cuts right there. I just kind of frayed it a little bit. That's perfect. You can see right here, this little bit right here is just not really what I'm looking for. So there we go. Maybe you can't see it, but I can see that little guy right there. Not exactly what I'm looking for. So I gave that fabric tack just a second to kind of grab and dry. I didn't want to get my fingers all gluey. So that's just to hold that down. It's not a permanent, like, hey, I'm going to leave it like that. It's just to hold my lace in place. Now, I really want to sew around this, and then I'm going to glue that right down there, okay? And this whole entire thing, once I sew around, I'm just sewing around my journal card, really. Once I sew around that, I'm going to glue that down with Fabri-Tac, okay? And then I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to glue this entire piece right here on the front cover, right here on the front cover of my journal. I'm going to try to pick it up and show you, kind of hating myself for the lighting right now. Not kind of, totally. But anyway, This, we're going to take this piece of lace right here, and then we're going to overlap this piece of lace. And you can put this a couple different ways. You can put it like I'm showing you here. You can see these long points right here. You can wrap those around the front of your journal like this, right? You could wrap them around the front, or you can put your lace this way and just have that little edge like that on this side, right? I probably keep that topper over there. Have that little lace on that side and then wrap those points around to the back. I try to center it, if I'm going to do that, center it and then wrap this around and just cover your signature strings with it that way. So just two different ways of doing it, right? I like the more is more, I'm going to put all these points on the front kind of look. And how far over you put it is up to you. I don't want the whole thing, so I'm just going to put it like this. And we're going to go ahead and glue this on right now, just like that. And the only thing I will add on later is I will add this on after I sew it. But you guys are going to see the whole finished thing. So we need to start by gluing this guy down. Okay, we need to glue it down. And like I said before, you know, I don't like to put it dead center. I like to put it dead center to get my bearings, and then I like to shift it just a little bit higher, okay? And I want to add some additional lace down here at the bottom when I'm done. So I like to keep it so if I have more of a fringy lace or something like that, it can kind of hang out down there at the bottom. Whether you go underneath or you go on top, that's up to you. I would probably layer several there. I only have this one sitting on my desk right now, but whatever. We can get more. We have tons of lace. We can get more. Okay, so let's glue this on. Enough chit-chatting. Let's do it. So you could ink the whole thing, like before you glue. If you want to ink your cardboard, go for it. I kind of don't want to ink it because I already have the cardboard color and I put gesso on it. But honestly, inking it probably would be beautiful. I'm just not going to. To me, it says no ink, but it also says it would be beautiful inked. So there's that. You do you. If you want to ink it, ink it. And I'm just going to add a generous, like thick amount. I'm just dribbling it on here. Probably not over the edge like I just did, but just dribble it on there. It's easier for me to squeeze it like that. You want a lot of it. We have a quilt cover. It's not going to seep through. You don't want to go over the edge like I am, but it's not going to seep through to the front. You're going to be fine. I'm going to clean up my little boo-boo glues because I don't want them over the edge. Yep, just like that. Okay, now I'm going to put this right about, I don't know, here-ish. Just set it there. Make sure that your cover is, straight. It's a quilt cover. It will move. I'm going to pick it up and look at it. I think it's about perfect. I've got room for my closure of my journal there. So once I'm happy with it, then I'll just give it a little press. I'm not pressing like CPR, all my might, whatever. I'm just kind of pressing it right there. And we'll wipe that off for the moment. Bubbling. All right, so that's kind of on there. Obviously, it needs a little more time to be permanent, but we're going to continue. Now the quilt cover is thick enough. Nothing is going to seep through to this side because it is quite thick. Like we have a lot of thickness there. If you just have a fabric cover, your glue might seep through. So you want to make sure that you don't put so much glue that it's seeping. There's that. There's that. Okay. Next, we're going to add this one. This one I want to keep off just want a little bit of it. Don't want all of it, just a little. And if you notice the piece of lace I give you, I always try to center some design, right? So I want to give it to you where you can center it on the cover. You have enough to do whatever you want to do. And that little snippet that I'm going to cut off over there, we're going to staple on a page on the inside as well to decorate it with. Okay, so I know where I want the lace. I did a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. I'm going to start out by adding a nice bead of glue down my signature strings. That helps hold the signature strings in place. Down here at the top and bottom, I don't need it quite as thick. I'm just going to add some. Just going back over and kind of smoothing that in, working it in. That's my spine of my journal. It's got a lot of glue on it. It's good. Okay. So from there, I'm going to put my lace backwards. I'm going to center, like this is the center flower. I'm going to center it kind of roughly where I want it. Then I'm going to wrap it around just like that. If I'm happy with it there, good. If I want to shift it down, up, whatever, I can move it. All I did right now is put glue on the spine. So I can move this lace wherever I want. When I'm happy with it, you can see the glue strings. When I'm happy with its placement, I push my hand and push that glue into place, push that lace into place, into the glue. If you want to use a spatula, silicone spatula, etc., you can do that. And so I just have a little bit here in the center poking over, and then these guys. And so I want to check the back, make sure I'm happy with the back, make sure the back is even, which right now it is not. So I will make an adjustment there. There we go. Just make sure that this line here is even or you're happy with it. I'll look at it a couple different directions, making sure it's straight. That looks pretty good. And then I'm actually gonna glue the back first. And so I'm gonna take the lace and I'm gonna add glue, the Fabri-Tac glue. The only place I'm gonna add it is the border across the edge, right? And these big embroidered white parts. So sorry guys. That's not supposed to be ringing. But anyway, I'm going to add glue, and I'm going to add the glue only where the thick white parts are. So there's that. There's that. There's that. And I'm not adding a ton of glue, but at the same time, I need this to stick. So, you don't want it super glue. You just want enough to make it stick, right? And I've got it pretty well there. There's enough there. We're good. Okay. Then I'm going to wrap that over. And I'm not pushing super hard at this point. I'm just wrapping it over, giving myself a chance to look at it. That's pretty good. I like the way that's going. I'm going to look here and I'm going to see, okay, we're about right on the line. Okay, we're about on the line there too. It looks pretty straight. Here we go. So at that point, I'm going to take that journal back in my hand and I'm going to push that lace and that glue together. Then I'm going to look back here and just kind of take my fingers and press that edge in. I want this edge to glue down. I don't want it just where, stuff's going to catch or whatever. And then I'm going to smooth that. We're going to glue these little flappy bits across. Now, if you're sewing your card later and you're going to add it in here, be aware that you can't glue this guy fully down because he's going to cover that corner or whatever, right? So if you're adding your top element later after you sew, you might not glue these all the way just because you might need to make an adjustment with it once you put that on. I am going to go ahead and glue as much as I need to, and we'll come back and glue the end after I get that journal part. So we'll get all of that glued, and we'll get all of this all the way out to there, even the tiny little tip of it. Here we go. That's across. And then you want to check and make sure that you've got your glue all the way to the edge here. There we go. There's that one. I'm going to do the same thing here, only adding glue where there's a big, thick, white embroidered part of the lace, not adding glue everywhere. Now that little tip is right on the edge of the cardboard, and I'm actually going to add just a little bead of the Fabri-Tac there and just kind of hold it for a second, just because I don't want that to come up later. And we can glue this one all the way, I believe. We have had non-stop contractors in here, either repairing things that were wrong, which they haven't repaired anything, they just looked at it so far, but all kinds of other contractors for other things, other projects. And I'm so looking forward to this weekend when the contractors are not working. Because then it's like you have some peace and quiet. Where you live in a neighborhood where they're still building quite a bit of houses and stuff around us. And so the first few mornings we were here, the big earth moving trucks were across the street and they were doing the grading, where they were kind of churning up the dirt and, you know, layering it up, building it up, whatever, putting roads in. And so it has been really noisy here all the time. I was thinking like, oh my gosh, it's a good thing I'm not trying to film right now, because the beeping of those big trucks and the noise and stuff. So they're still building, and we'll have new neighbors eventually, right? So that's good. We're getting new neighbors. That'll be great. Okay, so now you can see I've got these extra pieces. The point of that is at least it's quiet right now. At least it's peace and quiet around here right now. Okay, so I'm going to cut off the excess lace. I do it after the fact. You can do it whenever you want. You want to make sure that you don't cut into your quilt cover as you cut across there. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can save these little bits and staple them to the top of some pages, or you can make little scrappy clusters with them. I really like the applique type of lace because every little bit is usable. So we have that so far. It doesn't really look that impressive for as long as we've been crafting, but it's got a great start. And so all I'm going to do is sew around the edge of that, and I'm going to glue that with Fabri-Tac right in the center of our little panel there. And I'll make sure that when I glue it on, that I'm gluing it underneath that little corner, and I'll glue this little piece right there, right down. And so you can see the cardboard in real life. I'm not sure if you guys can see it on camera. If you don't think there's enough contrast, you could ink around yours. In real life, I think there's plenty of contrast. You can see it. But if you want to ink it before you glue it down to your thing, to your cover, right? So there's that. Now, I didn't add any other type of lace down here. Not because I really didn't want to, but because I forgot. So if you're going to add lace, I still have some opportunity to, I could pull this up quick and I could put this lace on there. I'm not sure I want the gold, so I don't think I'm going to do the gold. But later, when you see it again, it will more than likely have at least lace across the bottom here. And a little more embellishing in this corner to kind of even it out. What I'm talking about doing is maybe, do I have some old lace in here? Let's see if I have old lace. This one works. So we could do this. This one will fit under there. So when I go to glue this guy and glue it on, we'll tuck it in the applique lace there, and I'll put just a little bit of this one across. And I won't go past my cardboard. So I think that's going to be 3 or 4 little pieces here, 3 or 4 little circles of lace. Okay, so there's that, going to go across there. And then just to finish, I like to kind of evenly weight it. And I could either add another little embellishment up here, or I could add something down here in this corner. And for those, I um, really like these guys. This is my bag of tiny little doily bits and pieces. The little connector bits that look like a spider or whatever. Those little firework bits would be great. Added wherever you want. I could do it there. I could do something like this over here down in that corner. I think if you put it here, it's a little too heavy. Maybe we put it up there. I don't know. You put some kind of little crochet bit, little doily, little piece of lace. This one kind of looks like a little cupped flower. And it's just a little connector bit. It can go up there with like a little gemstone. It could go down there. I'm not really liking anything in this corner for some reason. So maybe we just add the lace. I don't know if we add that. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. I think some fabric and a rusty safety pin, and I would be happy with that cover. So let's do it. There's a bigger one. You could layer them up if you want. Just different looks. So let's leave those out as options. I kind of just want to glue it down now because it's like almost done. Should I just glue it and not sew it, or should I sew it? I think it needs sewn. I think it needs sewn. Okay, so anyway, this is how I've decorated my cover. I could put that one on. I really like layering them up. So more than likely, you're going to see something that's going to look like this, okay? Just like that. I've almost got it. Not quite, almost. I will finish this off here shortly, but I want to make some other ephemera with you. I don't want to eat up all of our time of, I have to go get my sewing machine out of the box. I have to figure out where to plug it in at. Some of the outlets work and some of them don't. So we'll work on that a little more. But let's move on to some ephemera. It does need sewn. I know it needs sewn. I know we have to do it. Okay, so let's move on. Let's take this off here for now. I will finish that shortly, probably before I go to bed, because it's going to annoy me because I want to finish it. But let's look in here. And I do have a pile of ephemera, and I don't think this is all the ephemera we made together for this journal. I think this is just other ephemera I had. So let's look at what we already have quickly, and then let's make a couple other things. How you guys doing out there? You hanging in with me? Hanging in there? That took a long time, but it's worth it. The cover is beautiful. It's very nicely layered up, really looks cute. All right, for ephemera. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, it's on this side. I even brought stuff in here to do the closure. My closure is going to be an eyelet with crinkly seam binding. So I'll put an eyelet on either side of the cover, on both sides of the cover. And then I will put crinkled seam binding for the actual closure. I have beads and charms to tie on my signature strings. So that's how I'm finishing that off. Let's look at ephemera now. Here's my pile. So I have a unfinished, undecorated pocket, two undecorated, they're basically bases from Masterboards. Journal cards or pockets, these can be tags. We can put that large fashion lady on one of these tags if we wanted to. I do have some clusters and some paper clips in a little baggie. So some clusters, some paper clips. You guys might remember making these with me, but we've got some of those that we can pick out and choose. There's just all kinds of little clusters and then some hidden paper clips. So Shouldn't have pulled them out because now I've made a mess. But anyway, we have plenty of made ephemera. We can go through and get this guy decorated up. So there's that one. This one is all the little charms. So the little dangly charms, you know, when you cut up pieces of paper, you usually are left with, honestly, they're little tiny, most people would probably throw this away, but these are old pieces of paper and the writing is beautiful. And so this one just says little things. It's a Tim Holtz sticker there. And these are literally just pieces of trash, kind of scraps. And it's just on a bulb pin. And I would really like to stick this one somewhere in this journal. I think it's very cute and it matches. I can't show it to you because my camera and lighting, but they're very beautiful. So anyway, tiny little scraps. That's what that's about. Many of these were 365 videos. I have some embossed paint chips, paint samples. When you get samples of paint, you can run them through with an embossing folder and it kind of comes out just like this. You could sand it a little if you wanted, but I have some of those. I have some of the lavender. This is actually dried lavender and it is laminated with onion skin handwritten French documents. And I made them into tags. So you can laminate your dried flowers with some onion skin. It came out beautiful. There's a video on that. So there's those. I also have three, because I have 3 journals, right? So I have 3 of everything. These are 3 side pockets. You glue them onto a page and you can use them as a side pocket. Again, this is in the lamination. I did a video or a live, I think it's a video where I laminated things and dried flowers. So that's those. Okay. Next, I have this, and I've been looking for a journal that she will fit in. It's Stamperia paper. It is an around-the-page pocket system. It may go in one of these journals. It may not. Here is an unfinished journal card that I thought looked nice with her. I have these. These were 365 video makes. Those will go. I have some journal cards that are like French antique letters. So those will go. I have 2 French blue paper pockets. There's a pocket here and a pocket here. And these glue down to a page and we'll make another pocket back there. So there's a couple of those. What else do I have? I have all kinds of neutral colored, which is white, black, cream, craft. All kinds of ephemera, cutouts, embossing, some tags. So there's some other options there. I made up 3 of the French lace sample cards. So just really cute little, they're light robin's egg blue. I don't know if you can tell, but one of those will go in each journal. So 3 little lace samples. I did 3 of the French folded coffee dyed paper with embossed bands. Those can go, because this is an antique journal and I didn't use digitals, I really, want to add some writing space. So this can just be tucked in a pocket. The band is too big, but we can resize that. It'll be tucked into a pocket and then you open it up and the coffee dyed paper unfolds and it's just additional writing space. These were some little flip up journal cards, very, very simple to make. Just a piece of fabric, a strip of fabric sewn over the edge to create that little flip up hidden journaling space. And there's 3 of those. Different kind of paint chip that's embossed. Again, just a different kind of embossing folder. They were little strip ones. I did that. That's on video. All of this is on video. I did find 3 little French lady playing cards. I have these for you guys when we start back up live sales too, but 3 little French lady playing cards. They're blue and white back. Those can go in some pockets. I have 3 tags that really, they just need some decoration. Just a little embellishing. You don't have to, but I think they could go in there. I made 3 book page pockets. Those are around the page, book page pockets. Those can go in. I saved some packaging from some Tim Holtz package ephemera. And I will make little notepads, 3 little notepads for this journal out of those. I've made all of that on video before for you guys. And then I just have like the normal, just ready to decorate ephemera, just, you know, some of this kind of stuff that's ready to decorate. So there's that. I managed to pull out some old Tuesday morning finds, little tiny craft sacks that a tag can slip down into, and some policy closure little envelopes. And so that's just in my arsenal. We didn't really make those things, but let's look at what we did make. Hopefully this is the pile of what we did make. I don't know, but hopefully. Okay, here's one of my ephemera buckets. It's not very organized. Not very organized, but let's look and see what we actually made for this journal. Let's see. Stuff's falling everywhere. I've got stamps popping out of everywhere. Some old stamps. Okay, for this journal, it looks, oh yes, we were here. So we made some journal cards. The robin's egg blue handwritten paper at the top, and some neutral there. We made a pocket that looks like this, right? This is an invoice, a French invoice that I put a French little fashion dress card on. It's just a cute little pocket. That journal card could go in there if we wanted to, right? So we made that together. Then we made some CD envelopes, I think. Here's another pocket. This is a cluster. We have a large French tag, right? This is Tim Holtz cardstock. Then this is just a simple little embossed paper. See the embossed paper at the top? I made a neutral masterboard and put some embossed paper at the top. This is just a little cluster made out of French fabric. So just French fabric cluster. This is a book page pocket where I sewed some eyelet to it, and it's open here at the top. There's fuzz on it. Eyelet open here at the top so that you can slide a big tag down there that glues down to a page. Then I have some corner pockets. Corner pockets. This is a regular pocket out of Tim Holtz cardstock. Neutral botanical tag. This is a lady journal. Nope, this is a lady tag. It's got a little slot punch there. Here's another lady tag. Here's another Tim Holtz cardstock tag. These are more envelopes. I see I had this all layered up into piles and now I've messed it up. But it looks like we have many, many different sets. I'll show you them. Many different sets of all of the ephemera that I've shown you here. You've got all of these for each one of the journals was made. And so we have a lot of ephemera. I think we're ready to fill these and that these are going to be marked complete because I have so much ephemera. Because I love this French blue neutral color palette, there's tons. So I think we're ready to go. I've got pockets that look like this with little charms on them, right? Simple to make. I've got this lady and her dog. I've got that tag. That could go if we wanted. I've got some ruffles for the page edges. I've got, what else is in here? I've got some shaker cards. These are shaker cards made with lace, and they actually have dried flowers inside of them. And these are little shaker cards. There's a cluster there. Shaker cards with dried flowers. These are mixed media tags, very much like the front of this journal. So many, many things. Yeah, here's a whole nother pile of ephemera. Here's another pile. So I've got another CD envelope, a journal card, a pocket, a cluster, another cluster, another cluster. Not all for the same journal, obviously. Here's a big pocket made out of a French ledger. Here's the over the page. Here's some little scrappy tags. A pocket. This bin is so full of stuff. I think, yeah, we're good. We have a lot. We have a lot, she says. But hey, let's make some more. Why not, right? Because if I don't use it in this journal, oh, we made these. We made these on camera with some texture paste. I've got a couple more here that are ready to be finished. These ones were supposed to be finished. I guess it was going this way. Oh, yes, it was. It was going this way and that way. And these two just need to be finished. But we have so much ephemera. See the texture paste in the center? Just a very basic layer collage with some texture paste. Very basic and cute. Are you guys like in ephemera overload? There's a lot in there. I can keep going. There's even more in this bin. So there's a lot. Let's make something new though, because I want to. Yeah? Are we good? We making something new? All right. Okie dokie. Craft-a-lunch? I hope no craft-a-lunch. You have the kit, but new to this was still working on the courage to start it. Oh my gosh, Jonah. We all have to start somewhere, and if you don't start, you'll never finish. So you have to start. And before you know it, I'll be coming out with a different kit. And so we got to finish these. And I'm a terrible example of that. But I think work gets in the way a lot for me. And obviously the move and life got in the way quite a bit and kept me from, like, look at the title of that. Like, that's a lot. Plus, I already put one pile back over there. So anyway, I did find the correct ephemera for the journal. That's lovely. I'm super happy because I didn't know where it was until I found it when I was live with you guys. Cool. I'm happy. Love that. I don't know where I'm going to put it, but I'm happy that I found it. I'm going to lay it over there for right now. And I hope nothing happens to it because that's like a bazillion hours of crafting. But you got to start. You just got to jump in. Everyone here is really good about posting in the Facebook group and sharing their work. And that does help other people to see like everybody else's take on it. And honestly, that's one of the most fun things about having a journal kit and that we make it all together is that you not only see how I make things, but you see how everyone else makes things too. And so maybe the way I'm doing it is not exactly your style. And maybe someone will post in the Facebook group something that, it sparks your creativity. You see somebody else's make, and then you're like, oh, okay, I can do that. I have those supplies. I can do that, right? So that's great. I'm going to save these little pieces. All right, so let me put this to the side, and we will finish that. These are, I think we have enough ephemera to fill them, but let me make some new ephemera with you guys, just because, we're here. My hands are a gluey, sticky, gesso-y mess, and that always makes crafting more fun, I think. But okay, so we're gonna need a paper cutter. I've got that to cover my desk. Let's see what we can make. Let me look around and see what we can make. All right. I have several things actually. I have more than I thought I did. Let's play with these. How many of you guys know who Sam Poole is? How many know who Sam Poole is? This is her paper pad. I don't know if she still is making those or not, but she, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago, came out with this Shabby Botanicals. It's Shabby Botanicals by Sam Poole. Sam Poole, I don't know if she is currently, but she was at one point a member of the Facebook group, my Facebook group, right? So she came out with this paper pad. You can check with your local scrapbook store, scrapbook.com. Simon Says Stamp might have it, but it's Creative Expressions, Shabby Botanicals by Sam Poole. And it's really all the light, neutral kind of things. So you can see that it repeats. But it's really, as much as I love it, if I can make one thing, it's very thin. Like it needs to be sturdied up. So I don't like it really for making pockets or tags that are standalone. I love the designs and patterns and things like that, but I really wish that it was thicker because I'm going to have to glue it down to something else to use it, right? So if I wanted to use this page right here, the cardstock is, I think, too thin. So I'm going to take out a sheet and we're going to glue it down to like a tag base or something else. And we'll keep working with it. We've got these ones right here. Back to this French handwriting. Let's take that guy out. Then let's make some large tags. Let's see if we can get 2 tags. So these are 4x8 approximate shipping tags, and they're going to give me that stability that I'm looking for. I think, yep, I can get 2 of them on there. 8x8 paper pad. Let's do 2 of those. I've got some little decorating bits that I'll put to the side over here. Bags of bits. Bags and bags of bits. Okay. So any cardstock that you have, any scrapbook paper, any type of original old paper, if you have a French invoice, if you have a Sears catalog, a seed catalog, some kind of printed digital paper, it doesn't matter. Whatever you have is going to work for this tag. We're just going to make some simple tags. So I'm going to use this botanical kind of catalog print here. I want to cut off, actually, I'm going to cut that strip at the top real quick, just because if I go over a little bit, that blue of the strip is going to show. It's not, sorry guys, it's not a perforated strip, so it won't tear off. We're going to have to cut it off. So let's cut that quick. And we need to cut it right at 8. Okay. There's that. Let's glue our tags. I could cut it in half, but I would have to glue it down perfectly. We're going to do it. We're going to pray for the best. And if we mess it up, then oh well, right? It's just paper and we can start over. Okay. So that should give us 2 panels for our tags. And I'm going to glue them right to the front of those tags with my glue stick. I have bags of bits. When you're moving, you find so many things that you did not know that you had. I found many original Tim Holtz scrapbook pads. I found some very old vintage Tim Holtz things that they don't make anymore, which was super fun. I don't know. The sad thing is that I found many pastes and things that I didn't use that dried up. But I think maybe I could revive some of them. So I kept a couple to see. But yeah, you buy a lot and you use, and then it dries. I'm in Arizona. It's very dry here. So I got a lot of glue on that guy. We're going to go with this. I have to line it up perfectly, but the good thing about glue stick is you can slide it, right? You can slide it where you want it and line it up. Now, if you were using art glitter glue, you're not going to be able to budge this. If you use art glitter glue, what you have is going to be what you get. You're not going to be able to move it. Okay. We're still lined up. We're good. Just going to smooth that out one more time. Make sure there's no air bubbles in there. And especially get the top. Okay. That's good. We've got one covered. Perfect. Love it. Let's do the next. Don't want to glue the thin paper. You want to glue the thick tag. The paper will curl, the thick tag will not. Whenever you're gluing two things together, always add glue if you can to the thickest thing and then put the thinnest thing on top of the glue, or flip over the thick thing onto the thin thing. I don't know. It's just a way of handling it without it being so curly. Okay, got glue all the way to the edges, super glued that top up. There we go. So how many of you guys will be back for me on Thursday to make the file folder journal? On Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern time, I will be back. I will hopefully have fixed some lighting situation for you guys. But if not, we're still going to make a lovely journal. We're going to make a journal using a file folder for the cover and pockets. And it's a new project. It's a quick project, meaning we should have the entire journal finished at the end of the class. It should be about a 3-hour class. It might go into 4, depends on, if we're having fun and how much we get done. But a file folder journal, if you have the Italian file folders, you could use one of those. I don't have one of those Italian file folders where I can get to it right now. I'm hoping to find one by Thursday so I can show you with an Italian one and one out of a regular manila file folder. I'll show you a couple different options. Hopefully I find the Italian ones, but if I don't, we're going to make one out of a manila one anyway. So grab a file folder. If you want to put a printed digital kit in your file folder journal for pages, make sure you have that printed. I will have a printed kit on Thursday. Well, I don't know if it'll be my own or not because I didn't print it and I didn't choose it, but whatever. I will have my pages printed. I will have a file folder of some sort, shape or size or whatever, but any kind of file folder. You can make one out of any file folder. If you do not have a file folder, a piece of cardstock will also work, although it will be different, but you can still make it. So digital kit, printed kit, pages. If you want to make it with all antique things, grab those pages. You can make the file folder journal, and I really love to do the file folder ones out of all junk mail. If you want a true junk journal, all junk mail, save those for your pages, like catalog pages, magazine pages, newspaper pages, stuff like that, okay? So you've got a cover, your file folder, you've got pages, your kit, your pages, whatever you're choosing. Next, for the file folder journal, because we are finishing it in one class only, envelopes, the alteration tags, any type of easy to decorate, library cards, library card pockets, all the regular quick, easy make journal ephemera. ready to decorate things. Maybe this is just pieces out of your ready to decorate ephemera box. If you're like Gail, you always have one of those. But quick things. We're not going to spend half an hour making one thing. We're going to assemble this journal. We're going to quickly decorate it and pretty much move on because it's just the one make. But at the end of the class, you should have a journal that you can either use, sell, give away, give as a gift, something like that. Okay, so anyway, decorating bits, regular journal supplies, something like that. You can cover a file folder with Florentine paper, absolutely. That's a good point. Thank you for pointing that out. I have done it with cardstock. I used watercolor cardstock before and made a journal cover. I believe I did that on camera. I do not know when, but a while back. A little bit of paper showing. Any questions for Thursday? 7 p.m. Eastern time. There will be a new link. I'll post it in the Facebook group. I will not be sending another email, but there's a new link every time I have a live. I just prefer new links every time. So yeah, there'll be a new link. You'll see it in the Facebook group. If you go to my YouTube channel, the link will be there on Thursday morning before we do the live. Okay, let's decorate these up. I need a hole punch. Do I have a hole punch? Maybe. Yes, I do. It's always like, do I know where that is? I don't know that I know where that is. We were looking for something in the kitchen and we looked for like half an hour. Then I was like, oh, wait, it's over here. And then I remembered where I put it. So, yeah. I think moving when you're older, like me, and you know, you belong to a certain population of people and you're older and you move, it's really hard on the brain because it's a lot to remember. Okay, now we need the hole reinforcers. And I happen to have those. And I already have some that are inked, so that's easy. Let's glue those on quick so that we can put back together the top of our tag. But yeah, it's a lot on the brain to remember, for sure. Because it's hard to remember where I put things before I moved. Like even after living in my house for a decade, whatever, it was hard to remember where things were. And now everything is moved and it's in a different place. And you can try to remember, but it's a lot every day to remember where you put things, right? Okay, so there's that one. I need to adjust that one just slightly before I'm happy with it. I'll do a better job on this one, hopefully. So when you put your little hole reinforcers on, if you ever miss it and you're off and you have like a little paper showing, first of all, not all hole punches and hole reinforcers are identically sized. But if you miss a little, like I just did, then you can take that hole puncher, right there, and repunch. It's easy. You can take your little pokey tool and just kind of widen that hole a little bit. There we go. There's the white out of that one. And see, even when you do layer it up perfectly, sometimes you still have a little bit of white there. And so if you just repunch it, it helps too. But the pokey tool, taking the pokey tool and going around that, it kind of just gets that white paper out of the way so that the brown can exist there, I guess. I don't know. There's that. So let's decorate these. And I see that stencil right there. I would really like to stencil that number on something. This is a little ledger page stencil. A little number there, ledger page stencil. I'm going to leave that out for a minute and we're going to stencil that number on something. I don't know what yet, but something. So there's 2 tags. Decorating them. I see that I have These two gigantic flowers have been laying around for forever in my ephemera bin. And I found them when we were packing things up. And I said that they needed a very large tag to go on. And these are pieces of Tim Holtz, I think. I think they're Tim Holtz. But I happen to have two of them. They come from this bag o' bits. This is what I said when I said bag o' bits. You can see there's some whale tail tabs in here. There's a lot of older Tim Holtz ephemera in here, and like it's a thick bag. Like there's a lot of stuff in there. So anyway, they came from that. I can't tell you which Tim Holtz thing, but they're laying there. So you could do a big fussy cut flower. That would be fine. You could even do like the one from Florilegium. There is botanical images back there already anyway, so it's not exactly like, okay, it's rocket science, whatever. But Tim does have this pack, and this is called Organic. And there are a lot of flowers and stuff in there too. And so we're gonna do a little more layering. We're not just gonna slap those down on there and call it a day. This is the Organic pack. There's cute little mushrooms in the Organic pack. He's got some nests, cute flowers. Ooh, there's some butterflies. The butterflies might be cute. Do you guys know what journal I will put these in when I'm done with them? Which unfinished journal should I put those in when I'm done with them? Well, look at the dragonfly. The dragonfly is good. That's a good dragonfly. Anyway, Organic. That's what this is called. I was hoping there was one more butterfly. I don't see it, but we do need some labels. Do we want handle with care or do not touch? These are too bold for me. Not right for my kind of project for this one. But there's some other cute little robin's egg blue French pieces in this pack. Lots of leaves, little library card, some ready to decorate journal cards. This one you could just tuck in a pocket. It's ready to decorate. Look at these for focal points. Look at these. You just plop them on. I already put it away, but imagine you have like a masterboard journal card. You could just put this right on the top of that to decorate that. So there's that. All of those journal cards. More and more and more. Okay. So there was plenty in here, and I would really like to make 3 matching journal cards to go with these 2 tags. That would be cute. I was looking to see if these giant flowers were in this pack. They are not, but there are many other purple flowers, pink flowers, some bird eggs. I really like the Organic pack. I think it's super cute. So there's that one. I didn't find those, so I can't tell you which pack those are from. It might be an older pack. I'm pretty sure they're Tim Holtz, but I can't really guarantee that either because they weren't in the original packaging. All right, so we'll come back to this. I like the butterfly. I don't know if I can find another butterfly like that, so I'm going to look. I like this color of the butterfly. This one is a little too pale for what I'm looking for. Okay, so there's that. There is also this little baggie of tags that we pulled tags out of earlier. For lack of anything better, we could use tags out of here, but I could also make a music paper tag down there. Let's try that. We need a little warmth. We're looking very cold. I'm going to add some book page for warmth, book page, handwriting, something for warmth down there. Creamy colored paper is what we're looking for. Creamy colored book paper. Creamy color. Here's a nice long strip of some book page. I don't know what it was from, but okay, we'll take it. I just need regular book page. Regular book page. I've got this dictionary page. Looking. Let's use this. These are scraps, clearly. They're scraps. Let's use these. Okay. I'm just going to fold it. I'm going to fold it. And then I'm going to tear it. And if it tears crooked, all the better, because we're going to tear it crooked here in a minute anyway. So that's going to be for one of them. It's not straight, but again, just to kind of give me a starting point. I don't really want the little image. This image would have been cute because it's like a botanical image, but I feel like we have enough botanical images. I will save it, but we don't need that. Okay, so hopefully it's not a bad word, right? We don't want bad words, so I don't know what that probably fine. The state of being a candidate. Okay, so we're all good. It's not evil. It's not bad. We're we're good. And I'm just going to take this and kind of tear it roughly. And I'm going to try to go down the edge of this one. Yep, right there. That's going to go there. And it's just giving me a little bit of warmth, the book page, kind of softening the white that's back there. Okay, so that's going there as a layer. I cannot pick this up because my fingers are gluey. That's going there. Love it. Now for this one, I think we're going to go on this side of the paper. Okay. So some book page and some scrapbook paper is where we're at right now. Okay. I want to be careful how I tear that. And that's going to be fine there. So this is where we're at with this one. And I've got a butterfly, which he's a little big now. He doesn't really have a place on that one. He might work on that one. We'll have to see how the angle of the flower goes. You might be able to get a butterfly, maybe. Kind of big. We'll see. All right, let's glue down our book page. Gluing down book page. I have glued down millions of book pages by this point. Let's continue. So yeah, I don't know. How many book pages do you think you guys have actually torn out of books and used? And how many book pages have you glued down? Yep. I don't know. It's not a million, but it's a lot. All right, here we go. Again, I like using glue stick because you can adjust and get exactly what you want. And I actually don't know that I want candidacy anymore. I think I just kind of want to rough tear it, and I like that much better. Okay, good. So that's on there. I will give that a moment to dry before I cut that off. Let's glue this one down. And same thing with this one. I like it, but I think I'm going to like it better without it. I'm going to like it better without it. I just want a little book page. That's fine. Adjust this angle, but that's fine. Okay. Many. Oh my gosh, Maria. I think we've all glued down a lot. But you know, that's good because we're repurposing those books where otherwise a lot of the used books, not only in this country, but in a lot of countries, they incinerate the excess used books. And so when we craft with book pages, we're crafting with something that will probably end up incinerated, and incineration, creates smoke, not great for the planet, all that kind of stuff. So it's a good thing to recycle book pages, upcycle, recycle, whatever you want to call it. We just added a little creamy color, and I know it's hard to show you guys the color, but we added a little warmer toned book page back there. It's just too stark without it. Okay, so I'm going to cut the excess off. Cutting the excess off. There we go. Here's that. And cutting that off. Okay. We're finally there. Now, we could ink these if we wanted to. I'm just not in an inking mood. I'll ink around the edge of the tag, but I'm not going to ink these. I will say that we need to get the angle right if we're planning on putting like a label or something. We need to get the angle of this flower right. I don't know, I guess we're going more like that. And on this one, more like that. I don't know if we're going higher, I think. Yeah, okay, we're going higher. Somewhere in that area. Let's use our glitter glue because these are thick cardstock pieces. And they're a little bit fiddly too with these thin little connectors. So let's not cut them. Let's glue all around the edges as best as we can without going over the line, which for me is incredibly hard. I don't know what time it is for you all there, but right here in Arizona right now, it is 6:38. We're gonna do just a little bit more here. Dinner time. I'm not really that hungry, so I don't know what dinner will be today. A lot of glue on there. Okay, there we go. We're positioning, kind of like that. Yes, we are. Straight, no bends. Down it goes. Perfect. All the little bits are down. Next one. I do not feel bad at all. I've seen a dumpster full to landfill. If only I knew I'd want to craft with them 3 years ago. Oh, you saw a whole dumpster full going like to the landfill or at the landfill, something like that. Yeah. You know, paper is one of those things where it often finds its way there, right? There's so much, or at least there used to be so much paper in the world. Now a lot of, papers, we're going paperless, right? We don't have bank statements as much anymore. So we are going paperless, not only for convenience, but security and other reasons. So I think while there's a lot of paper being disposed of now, hopefully we've come up with a better system and we won't be having so much excess paper in the future, which is good and maybe bad for people who are ephemera collectors and we can find antique things now, but antique things in the future, it's not going to be as plentiful because there's not going to be as much, right? Not as much antique things because we're going paperless. Everything is on computer and digital and whatever, right? So some glue I need to get off of there. Okay, those are down. The little butterfly. Does he have a space? He's kind of big. I mean, honestly, he's not horrible in this area other than that he's like at the ground level. He certainly can't go on that one. He's just too big. I'm going to save him. I love him, but he is too big. So let's put him back in the little bag. Oh, oh, well, it's a good thing I found that in my hair before you all saw it when I flipped the camera back around. This entire piece of cardstock was stuck in my hair. That would have been kind of funny to turn the camera around and you guys to see that. Okay, let's do some little labels quick. I don't know what else we can find to decorate this with, but there's a million bits here. Oh, look, there's little butterflies right there. Maybe we could find another map. I see more. I'm going to hold them so they don't move. There's a little butterfly. Oh, please stop falling. Please stop falling. You're somewhat in a little category here. Butterfly. Yes. 2 butterflies. We did it. Oh my gosh. I think all of that right there in the front is Tim Holtz ephemera. Some old, some new. Okay. It would have been funny. I would have been embarrassed later, but it would have been funny. Now, for whatever reason, this butterfly needs inked. Do not ask me. I do not know. But my brain says the butterfly needs inked. So the butterfly and the butterfly alone is getting inked on that project. I can't explain why. It looks like it needs inked. So we inked a butterfly. What you guys all do while I was gone? Who did something exciting? Who went on some fabulous vacation? I want to hear all the things that I have missed. I still don't know where they're going. I just think they're a better size than what we had before. I want to hear all about the things I've missed. I need a label down there and a little butterfly here. Okay, so let's not glue those just yet. Let's find some labels. I mean, I have these ones and they're right in front of my face, but honestly, a music label is probably better. We've got some of these. I mean, it's okay. It's not bad. It's just not the right shape or size. No judgment. You just sat here waiting. The little corners that fly off, yeah, with the corner punch. Also, the little thumb hole punch, it always shoots the little slices back at you. This is better size, I think. Yes. Okay, so I did not look and see what journal you guys guessed these were going into. What journal do you think that these are going to go into? You cleaned out your storage unit? Well, that's a big win. That is a very big win. Yeah, not spending that money every month anymore. That's a big win. You went on a cruise. That's awesome. Amazing. Your visit from Poland. That's amazing too. That's really great. I love that. I love that. That's wonderful. Nobody else did anything? Nobody else did anything super fun, exciting? Went to Vegas and Louisiana to pass the time. That's fun. That's very fun. Vegas can be fun. You just, have to go with a plan, I think. I haven't been to Vegas in a very long time. I stopped going to places a lot. I wonder why. I think it has to do with I have not had much free time, but But I did stop going to places. I have a little thing happened recently, and I was reminded that I don't travel much because my ID is out of date. Anybody guess what happened that reminded me my driver's license is out of date? I, yeah, had a little incident. I got a warning, so all's good. I can't complain. They were very polite, and I got a warning, and it was fine. But yeah, they were very polite, and I super appreciate all the hard work that they do. Okay, so there's that one. Glue is like chunking off now, so I'm trying to save it, but it's getting clumpy. I did, yeah. I was fine. Everything was fine, but I did get a little warning because my driver's license was out of date and I didn't realize. Um, I don't know. I guess because I was busy doing other things, but I just didn't realize. Okay, so this is super gluey. There's that one. There's that one. I am going to stick the butterflies on. I don't know, somewhere in that. See, it just, he's having a hard time. He's too big for down here. He doesn't fit up there. If I put him up here, he's kind of big, but I'm just going to throw them on there because I really like the color and I like the way they look, but they're probably a little bit too big. Yes, they are. Okay, so we made some really cute, the, I know Arizona driver's license don't expire for a very long time, but I have had mine for a very long time. Oh, so funny. Oh my gosh. Okay. Um, I'm reading. Camping, taking care of grandkids for a couple of weeks, that's super fun too. Took a spinning class, love that. Oh my gosh, Carol, you are hilarious. Carol V had a little sticker on her bottom. At least, it was a Tim Holtz stamp sticker. That's better than many other sticker options. I guess that's where that one went. Um, let's see. What else happened to us? My daughter is doing well. I updated you on my son, but I didn't update you on my daughter. My daughter is doing well. She is due at the end of September. And so we will have another grandson the end of September. Beautiful. Two baby boys. Her current child is 10 months. Yes, 10 months. My first grandson, 10 months already. I can't, the time has flown, guys. It's literally on hyperdrive or something. I don't know. I know I've been busy, but still. Yes. Yes, yes. Okay. All right. So let's get these tags finished off. I brought in all these cute things to play with and to craft with. And as always, I don't finish and I don't get to a lot of the things I planned on getting to. So we might see one more for the white journals. We might. I said we could do 1 or 2 more for white journal, white book cover journal. We might see 1 more class for that. And that file folder journal, I really am hoping to finish on Thursday. But if we need another one for that one as well, we can take our time. It's all right. So we'll see. Do you guys want another? How many of you feel like we need another class for the white journal? And how many of you feel like I've already finished mine, I don't need another class for it? Went to scrap and stamp. I'm sorry for shaking the camera. Weeks ago. You've been all over the place. You've been having fun. Can your dog? Oh, so sorry. I'm shaking the table like crazy. I've got to fix that. Can your daughter talk to our daughter? My daughter, I don't, she's in a hurry, guys. She's in a hurry. They are already talking about back to back to back again. So I know they want a large family and, they're in a hurry. They're not old, but they're not super young either. So whatever, they feel like they're in a hurry. So we have 2 lovely botanical tags. I think they're super cute. Bring this inking in just a little over there. I think they're super cute. I love them. They came out great. So what journal am I putting them in? I'm putting them in the botanical journals from last March. Yes, the botanical journals from last March. Here's the finished look to them. They're a little curly and they look terrible in this lighting, but they're super cute, right? I will ink the backs also, and they need to be flattened out a little bit. Yeah. They're going to be great. You made the covers? I knew you had asked, and I was hoping that, whatever we came up with would be helpful to you, Esther. I was hoping. Northern Minnesota. Yes, please. Oh, you want to see the ephemera be put in? Okay. Sure, absolutely. 1 more class. Haven't started yours. Oh my gosh. The time does fly when you're having fun. So fun. The sticker story is super cute. Because, Carol, there are a lot of other stickers in the world that could have gotten stuck there. I think it's amazing. I am going to stick this little stencil on there, but it's kind of hard to line up with this lighting. I'm going to hope that I've got it somewhere where I want it, and I don't have enough ink on here. Get a light image, hopefully. Close, not perfection, but close. I needed way more ink. I have a stencil brush. I think I can get away with it if I just get more ink. But anyway, yeah, so I'm gonna get another grandson. I don't know why they're in a hurry, but they are. And she does not have preeclampsia yet, so that's great. I mean, hopefully she doesn't get it, but I'm going to try to line this up and redo this, but you guys know how that goes. I'm not, because I'll ruin it, and this is a finished tag. So I'm trying to line up the number like down here on one of the lines of the, can you guys see it like shift through there? The red border, and then I just go up from there, and then ink there. Pretty good. Pretty good. This one's a little light, but pretty good. And so at least the little labels aren't completely blank. They have a little number, but you could still write something on them. And I'll put those in the botanical journal. I found the ephemera box for that. So maybe real mad in 2 seconds when I find the scorched timber I was looking for. And yes, I did find it. I was looking for that. I would have rather stenciled these in scorched timber, but it was in the bottom of my bin. So, you know, whatever. It works. Okay, so what did we do today? Not a whole lot, but I have super inky, dirty fingers, and I really don't want to touch white journals, but I'm going to. We decorated the cover of this guy for the most part. I'm going to go sew around him as soon as I get my sewing machine out. He's going on there. I know you can't see, but we did the cardboard technique, peeled it, cut it, peeled it, gessoed it, added a layer of lace. We added the sequined lace over the edge of the spine of our journal. Then we cut and made this, basically it's like a journal card. I'm going to sew around it and I'm going to layer that up there. There will be some lace at the bottom, some little type of embellishment somewhere there, here, somewhere, I don't know, but there's going to be some other little crochet doily bit embellishment thing. I don't know, I can't show you now because it fell. But that's what we did. We decorated the cover of our white journal. We looked at all the ephemera that I can find for the white journal series. I made 2 tags for other different journals that I have. I have 2 more journal covers to decorate. All of them have signatures in them. They all need lace still added to them and all of their ephemera put in. So yeah, these are basically done, but they need assembled, which is really where I leave all of my journals. I get them all done and then they need assembled. Like I make all the ephemera, but they still need assembled. And I'm going to be better about that in the future, hopefully, because I would also like to finish some journals. And when I keep them here, then I have to move them. Then you guys don't ever get to see the finished thing either, which is also annoying. So I'm going to flip this camera back around. We can chat for a little bit and then we will wrap it up. All right, so let me see where my camera is. Hopefully I don't have any other paper in my hair. There's the camera, here it goes. Okay, and there's my cup and there's other things, journals over there. Okay, so thank you guys very, very much. It was good to be back and hang out with you guys. And thank you for bearing with me with the light echo. I don't know why the light is better this way, but it's terrible on the desk. I don't know. Hopefully I fix it before Thursday and I'm tripping over the legs of my chair. But anyway, I'm so happy that I'm back here with you guys. And it was so much fun to craft again, but honestly, it was made way better by doing it with good friends like you guys. And so thank you so much for being here with me. I appreciate it. Thursday, you need any type of file folder. If you have one of the Italian file folders, great. If you have a regular plain manila file folder, legal, regular size, doesn't matter. A file folder is what we're going to make the cover of the journal out of. It's super simple. We'll build in some pockets, that kind of stuff. Then for your signature, you're going to want whatever pages you want for a signature, have them printed, have them ready to go. If you want all junk journal or junk mail pages like magazines and catalog pages and stuff like that, get all of those ready. But make sure you have a file folder, whatever you're sewing in for a signature. And then the rest are like envelopes, tags, not decorated ones, plain ones, like plain white, envelopes, like a gift card, kind of small envelope will work. Any type of envelope, let me say that again. Any type of envelope, any type of bag, any type of plain tag, recycle tag, junk journal, like I've cut this tag off a clothing tag, any type of easy to decorate, quick to decorate ephemera. So normally when I make you guys a junk journal kit, I include a pile of like fast make ephemera, like envelopes, tags, bags, journal cards, index cards, things like that. How many pages? This is a single signature journal. So I usually do 15 full-size pages, maybe 8 digital pages mixed in with 7 other pages just for variety, some book pages, some coffee dye pages, whatever you guys want in your journal. You'll see right off the bat on Thursday, I will go through what I pulled and I have ready to make my journal with. Then you guys can have some time to find those things in your craft room if you want. But yeah, I'll show you right off the bat what I've pulled and give you a little bit of time to find some things. It's simple. It's an easy make. It's not hard. We should be able to finish it in a 3-hour class. If we need a little more time, we can do another one in the future. But the goal is to call that done in the 3 hours. I'm so glad you guys got to come and hang out with your friends there in chat too. I always stress because I feel like for some people, the chat is their social interaction and stuff with their friends. And so I feel bad when I'm not able to put it up for that long of a time, especially. Thank you for bearing with me during the move. Obviously, it's still like, work in progress here, but at least we have internet. I'm back able to communicate with you guys. Facebook group has been going the entire time and I've been approving those posts in there. If you guys have any questions about live sale stuff, just know I haven't even looked at that. I will not look at it until next week. So on Monday of next week, I'll go in and take care of any outstanding live sale business, meaning if you didn't pay by the ship deadline and your package was kept this entire time, those will be shipped by Monday or on Monday. So if you're waiting for that, Monday is when that's happening, and then I will answer any outstanding messages from you all on Monday regarding live sales. I don't know if live sales will be happening next week yet or not. Just pay attention to the channel. I'll probably have a better idea on Thursday whether live sales will be next week or whether we'll just hang out and craft again. I know right now as it stands, we're a little ways away from having live sales. Maybe by Thursday, in 2 more days, we'll get it done. Does it seem blurry to you guys? Does the picture seem blurry to you guys, or is it good? I don't know. It looks blurry on my side, but I have 2 monitors. One looks clear and one looks blurry. So, oh my gosh. Thank you guys so much. I so appreciate you. You guys are amazing. And I hope you got to make the journal with me, or at least tucked, the cardboard journal topper idea away and you'll pull it out later for another journal. Thank you guys so much. We are so happy that we have made this move. The space is amazing. The location is amazing. The house is coming along. So thank you guys. Picture is awesome. Good. And thank you, Maria. Thank you. The filter is amazing. Trust me, when you see me at the retreat, you'll be like, do you normally wear a lot of makeup? Because you're not wearing any now. I don't wear any makeup. I can't wear makeup. I'm kind of allergic to a lot of it, so I don't really wear it. But the filter, built-in camera filters, they do it all for you. So thank you. I appreciate that. It's great. Now, if they could just take the filter to where it like smooths the neck wrinkles and the little bit of, that would be great. But, that's just being a grandma. That's just being a grandma. Okay. Made most of it, but now you need to rewatch. Okay, well, the video, as soon as this live ends, it becomes a regular video on the channel. So if you need to go back to it and you need to rewind and watch something or speed up my chit-chatting, or when I need to make a decision and I don't do it for like 5 minutes, you can rewatch, but fast forward through all the parts you don't want to see again and just watch the parts you do want to see. Oh, my hair, it's getting so long. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay, so the scattered bee. I know you changed and I'm looking now. Can you tell me what your first name is, Scattered Bee, so I can mentally make a note of it? Who else changed their user IDs? I'll have to ask again the first time we have a live sale, but every time I put it in my brain, hopefully it's one more opportunity for it to stay there. Paige, your florilegium is, if I can reach it. See, once I step out of the light, things get scary. It is, oh my gosh, over there. My page number is it's plate 260 and it says page 340. Yep. Kim L. Okay, perfect, Kim. I will try to remember the scattered bee is Kim L. You cut 8 inches off your hair. I have done that before, but I also realized after doing that I look better with longer hair. Then I had to wait a good year for it to grow back. Mm-hmm. Yep. Awesome. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for the first craft with me after my move. Thank you for your patience. I'll see some of you, most of you, hopefully on Thursday. I'll see you guys on Thursday. I need to get back into the rhythm of everything also. So this is awesome for me. Plus, I think this stream, as far as internet, went really well. And so it was a good test for that. Just so you know, I have not done any other testing. There were no private live sales. We didn't get any of that done yet. Hopefully in the future, we will get to do some of that stuff. But for now, we're just trying to get back to the basic stuff working. Okay. Good night, guys. Have a wonderful night, and I'll see you on Thursday. Bye.